At first, prediction markets sounded harmless. It was seen as just people betting on what they think will happen next. But the deeper you look, the darker it gets. Right now, millions of ordinary people are struggling just to afford groceries, rent, and gas. Meanwhile, the wealthy are finding new ways to make money from information most people have never seen. A new industry is exploding online, where people can bet on elections, government decisions, celebrity scandals, economic crashes, and even war. And critics say it's becoming another game designed for elites to win. Well, what are prediction markets? They're basically stock markets mixed with gambling. People can place real money on future events, like who will win the election, whether the economy will crash, and if the country will go to war. You could even bet on natural disasters. What started as a small academic experiment has now exploded into a multi-billion-dollar industry where people are betting on basically everything in real time. Prediction markets used to be a niche website followed mostly by political nerds and researchers, but platforms like Polymarket and Kalshi changed everything by turning real-world events into tradable bets. Bets that anyone with a phone and enough money can profit from. This can be a dangerous system where information becomes financial power. Because in today's economy, information is everything. The earlier you know something, the more money you could potentially make. And the people closest to power often get information first, while ordinary people are dealing with rising food prices and unaffordable housing. Wealthy investors and politically connected insiders may be profiting from private networks and early information. And there have been a few disturbing examples. Just hours before Trump publicly announced a ceasefire involving Iran, dozens of brand new anonymous accounts on Polymarket suddenly began to place massive bets that the war deal was coming. At the same time, most of the public still believed tensions were still escalating towards more conflict. But these accounts were betting huge amounts of money on peace happening almost immediately. Then the announcement dropped. And overnight, some of these accounts reportedly made hundreds of thousands of dollars. So people started asking the obvious question, were these bettors just lucky or did somebody know something before everyone else? And then things escalated further. A US Special Forces soldier named Gannon Van Dyke was allegedly part of a secret military operation involving Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. According to federal prosecutors, while helping plan the operation, he began placing massive bets on prediction markets about Maduro being removed from power. Not just random lucky guesses or predictions, but specific bets directly tied to the events he allegedly already knew was coming. Authorities say he placed over $33,000 worth of bets on contracts related to US military action and Maduro's downfall. Then when those operations actually happened, those bets turned into over $400,000 in profit overnight. And this is where the entire prediction market industry got shaken, because critics started asking the obvious question: if someone involved in a classified military operation can secretly profit from insider information, how many other people are doing it in the exact same way? Prosecutors say that the soldier allegedly tried to cover his tracks too. First, using crypto, of course, on these platforms, VPNs, foreign accounts, and even attempting to delete his account after the story started gaining attention. The case became the first major insider trading scandal tied to prediction markets. And suddenly these platforms stopped looking like harmless internet forecasting games and started to look like stock markets for classified information, with many people trading on information the public does not have access to yet. And it highlights one of the biggest fears around prediction markets, because a covert military operation was turned into a financial betting opportunity, where political chaos, war, and even national security secrets can be quietly turned into profit. And when money is attached to world events, people with insider access may have huge advantages over ordinary people. And it's not just war. Prediction markets have exploded around politics too. People are now betting on election outcomes and other political events, with critics saying that this creates a dangerous incentive structure, because when political chaos becomes profitable, instability can become an opportunity. And now governments are beginning to worry too. The US Senate recently moved to ban senators and congressional staff from prediction market trading. This was over concerns about insider information and ethics. Because if politicians can profit from decisions they influence before the public even knows what's happening, then the line between investing and exploitation begins to disappear. The gap between the rich and the poor is already growing. Housing is unaffordable, food prices are rising, wages struggle to keep up. But while ordinary people are trying to survive financially, wealthy individuals and connected elites may be turning information itself into profit, and prediction markets are becoming a symbol for a much bigger reality. The people with the most access often gain the biggest rewards. The average person hears the news after it happens. The powerful may profit before it happens. And this is where things take a darker turn. Because once every global event becomes a financial betting opportunity, human suffering can become market entertainment. Economic collapse, political chaos, and even war have become profitable. And critics worry this creates a future where the people closest to power aren't just shaping events, but they're profiting off of it. On the other hand, supporters of prediction markets can say people are overreacting. They argue that these platforms are not just online gambling, but they're actually powerful forecasting tools that can predict elections, inflation, and even company earnings more accurately than experts, polls, and Wall Street analysts. The simple idea is when thousands of people put real money behind their beliefs, the wisdom of the crowd becomes surprisingly accurate. But critics say there's a darker side. Because when money is involved, the line between forecasting the future and secretly influencing it starts to get blurry. And that's the real controversy. If someone has insider information before the public does, prediction markets could become the perfect place to quietly profit. Still, many people argue the solution isn't banning these platforms, but rather it is regulating them properly before they evolve into some financial free-for-all. But we'll have to wait and see how prediction markets unfold. If you enjoy the video, like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel. And if you're already subscribed, I appreciate the support. And until next time, thanks for watching.